can count on continues. This is WGAL News 8 at 4.
Today on News 8 at 4, a historic day in the United States as the House of Representatives formally pursues articles of impeachment against the president.
It comes as President Trump and Vice President Pence are set to arrive in Hershey for a campaign rally tonight at the Giant Center.
And we have a live team of reporters in Hershey tonight to bring you coverage throughout the evening. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Roach.
I'm Janelle Stelson. WGAL News 8's Ron Martin begins our live team coverage from the Giant Center in Hershey.
Good evening, Janelle and Brian. Good evening from the Giant Center for President Trump's Keep America Great rally. You know, in 2016, the president won overwhelming support here in the Susquehanna Valley. And from the looks of things, it appears he'll get it again tonight for this rally. The president and vice president are expected to take to the stage here to this crowd starting at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, for only the fourth time in history, the House of Representatives is pursuing articles of impeachment against a sitting president. In this case, President Trump is being charged with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. NBC's Alice Barr begins our team coverage from Washington.
Standing below a portrait of the first American president, House Democrats announced articles of impeachment against the 45th.
Not even the president is above the law.
The two charges that President Trump abused his power by pressuring Ukraine to investigate his political rivals while withholding military aid, and that he obstructed Congress by blocking documents from being released and witnesses from testifying.
If allowed to stand, it would decimate Congress's ability to conduct oversight of this president or any other in the future.
House Republicans accusing Democrats of acting for political reasons.
They're impeaching him because they're afraid he will get reelected. That's not why you have the power of impeachment. That's the abuse of power.
President Trump calling impeachment sheer political madness and repeating that Ukraine's president said there was no pressure. At the same time, President Trump is meeting at the White House today with the foreign minister from Ukraine's biggest rival, Russia. And on a day of division, a bipartisan move, House Democrats announcing they'll support a new trade deal with Canada and Mexico, handing a potent political win to the Trump administration.
And there are some people who said, why make it look like he has a victory? Well, we're declaring victory for the American worker.
Trying to shake the president's label of do-nothing Democrats, even as they move closer to impeachment. Alice Barr, NBC News, Washington.
You know, the Giant Center seats more than 10,000 people. News 8's Barbara Barr joins me now to continue our team coverage. And Barbara, from the looks of things, we're already more than halfway there.
Well, covering this in 2016, of course, Ron, the president making visits here, and it usually is a packed house. It is more than just a campaign stump speech. It is high theater, so they're looking forward to this. He could almost take up residency, I think, in Pennsylvania. He may be here a lot in the next year. Still a battleground state. It is a state he won by just 44,000 votes in 2016, but he was the first Republican presidential candidate to win it since 1988. Of course, he comes here on a momentous day with two articles of impeachment against him, but I was interviewing folks here in the stands and on the floor. You see the sea of red hats, Trump red hats, make America great again, or keep America great again, as his new slogan. They say they haven't been paying attention to the impeachment proceedings, and young people tell me they like what he's doing with the economy.
I'm a business major. You can see our economy is doing great. It's the best it's been in a long, long time. I think it's great for young people, especially me, like trying to get a job soon. The economy's doing amazing.
He's America first, and I think he's putting so much jobs, so much passion for the country that I think the generation that I'm in is not. So I love what he stands for, and I will continue to stand for what he believes in.
Well, that's certainly music to the presidency, or getting out those young voters. He'll also be trying to appeal to suburban voters as well, that we saw in the midterms. Ron kind of went away from the Republican Party. So a big challenge ahead, a big night ahead. We're looking forward to the coverage.
Indeed it is. Tell me, Barbara, you've covered Trump rallies before. When the president and the vice president both take the stage together, what will it be like in here?
They'll go crazy. You'll have the music, of course, revving everyone up, but he will get everyone revved up. And with what is going on today, something we have not seen before. You can expect a lot of slogans and revving up this crowd because he's not exactly known for his diplomacy, Ron. We're going to send it now to Brittany Garzilla, who has more on the Trump rally. Brittany?
Yeah, Barbara, well, it's been raining on and off here in Hershey, but let me tell you what, that hasn't stopped the crowds from lining up. We were outside right as it started pouring, people just putting on their ponchos, keeping those Make America Great Again, Keep America Great Again hats on. A lot of people behind me now waiting to see the president, excited to see him. And as you mentioned, the president turned Pennsylvania red, the first time since 1988. Many of those people hoping he'll do the same thing again in 2020. We caught up with some of the people in lines. They've been out here for hours. Take a listen to what they had to say.
I just want to get all riled up, like he can rile up the crowd.
And why?
Because he's better than anything out there.
And a lot of people here already are taking their seats, very excited. Say they're hoping for another win here in 2020. Again, a big crowd behind me of people just standing right in front of the podium there. A lot of excitement and enthusiasm from this crowd, so we'll certainly keep you posted. Back to you.
Indeed, a big night for the Trump-Pence ticket. All right, thank you, Brittany. You know, Vice President Pence is already in Pennsylvania. He stopped near Pittsburgh today for a meeting with veterans. The Vice President, talking about the importance of Pennsylvania, says his mission for the trip to Pennsylvania is clear.
I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that is that Pennsylvania and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House.
Now again, the president will be joining President Trump here in Hershey as part of his cross-state bus tour. He'll be being the president. He'll be arriving here about 6:05 in Harrisburg, specifically at the Harrisburg Air National Guard base, where the president's plane will be coming in. WGAL News 8's Tosa Fikile is there, and we hope to have coverage from her coming up on WGAL News 8 just after 6 o'clock. Well, that's the story for now here at the Giants Center. We want to toss it back to you in the studio, but we'll be back again in a few minutes with more updates on the Keep America Great rally. Back to you.
Let's focus now on the weather, which is going to be a point of concern for a lot of people over the next few hours, the next few days or so. Another rainy day today, possibility for some wintry weather tomorrow. Here's WGAL News 8 Chief Meteorologist Joe Calhoun.
Yeah, Brian, I wouldn't be too concerned, but, you know, a nuisance variety kind of precipitations we go into tomorrow morning. Rain right now, you can see just blue on the map, but starting to pick up some whites and pinks off to the west in the higher elevations, in the colder areas. Right now, though, we're not cold enough anywhere near it for snow. Temperatures are still well into the 50s, as we told you. The colder air kind of bleeds in as we go through the overnight. So through the evening, you're going to need the umbrella and the raincoat. 9:30, 10 o'clock, we start to see some flakes mixing in. Then it looks like it goes over to snow for a few hours and it ends pretty quickly right around sunrise tomorrow morning. So what we're expecting this evening, no problems out there. Again, just a little mixed bag, but again, with temperatures in the mid-30s won't be a problem. It's overnight tonight when we start to see that going to all snow, and that could impact you with some slick spots. The morning commute, I think it's wet to slushy on the roadways, about a coating to maybe 2 inches. I'll have more coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Joe. To York County, where Interstate 83 South is reopened now after a serious crash this morning. WGAL News 8 traffic anchor Corinne Lillis joins us with the details.
Yeah, this was closed for about 7 hours. If you were headed down to Baltimore from York County, you were impacted by this. There was a 3-mile detour. It was closed since around 8:30 this morning at exit 36 for Parktown. That's the exit for Route 439. A tractor trailer was involved there, slid down into an embankment. There was a fuel spill, so that aided to it taking so long to reopen. But now if you are headed down from York all the way down to Baltimore, you can see some video from earlier that we have of the scene, but all lanes are back open again that had previously been closed since 8:30 this morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Corinne. In today's Community Connection, we're visiting a cheese shop in York County that can satisfy your cravings or give you ideas for holiday gifts.
WGAL News 8 Shannon Murphy has more from Spring Grove.
We're here at Caputo Brothers Creamery off of 116 in Spring Grove, and we are learning about all of the amazing things that they offer here and just in time for the holidays. I'm joined now by David Caputo. David, you kind of have an interesting background as to how this business all got started. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a crazy story, at least for us. My wife and I got married in 2005, and we're on the second day of the honeymoon, and I tell Rin that I'm starting a new job. Got to do something different. And so she's up for an adventure. We wound up finding culinary school in Italy, quit both our corporate jobs, and moved over there and started a new life.
And you guys have been in business now, you said, a little over 8 years.
Yep, 2011.
One of your main things is cheeses, and you said that the local milk is something you guys are really important to your business.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, obviously the main ingredient in cheese is milk, and so we get all of our milk locally. We are committed not only to having the best quality milk, but also our successes with our cheese allow us to continue to support Pennsylvania dairy, which, as many people know, is really in a crisis. So our ability to make more cheeses, new cheeses, quality cheeses here locally in Spring Grove allows us to bring on more and more local dairy farms.
And you have cheese, but you also have kind of morphed this business into more than just that. What all do you guys have here?
Well, we really have sort of a multi-pronged approach. We've got the cheeses, obviously, which both retail and wholesale we do a lot of all over the country. We offer cooking classes, dinners, dining experiences here in Spring Grove. We also offer culinary tours to Italy, which now we're running 8 a year. And then we also have our retail shop where we sell local products and cheeses.
And you'd need a reporter to go to those trips on Italy with you, I'm sure.
We could certainly talk about it.
Awesome. Well, coming up, we are going to show you some of those things that David just talked about and give you a back look here and take a look back at where they make the actual cheese here at Caputo Brothers. Back to you.
Still to come at 4, a Lancaster County church is damaged after somebody breaks in and steals thousands of dollars worth of items.
A Pennsylvania court rejects Bill Cosby's bid to overturn his sexual assault conviction.
And we take you behind the scenes of the Caputo Brothers Creamery once again to see how all that cheese is made.